Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Gbr Weekly. Going to hop on here and talk just a few more minutes about last week's game and what's coming up this Friday night. Brad Morris, Jason Burkeen.
In the house, back from the dead, baby.
Yeah, glad to have J-Dog back.
Heck yeah.
We played Todd County Central in Elkton last Friday night. Let me just say, the community of Elkton is fabulous. They did such a great job putting that game on, and we were just treated so very well. Hats off to Mr. Mike Smith, athletic director at Todd County Central. You guys did such an amazing job. Didn't do such a great job on the field, but we knew that going in. We knew it was a mismatch, and man, it was. We had very few first downs and had a lot of points.
Yeah. I mean, I watched it thanks to Red Helmet Sports Network, man. Y'all did a fantastic job. I watched it on the big screen, chilling out. Man, it was awesome. And, we knew they were overmatched. Mayfield came in there, did what they did, what they do. Business, as always, business-like. On Jinx's pick, I actually picked it right on the money, 63-0.
Wow.
So I won that. And then the week before,
way to go, Jay.
I picked it exactly. So this is 2 weeks in a row. Go Mayfield. But yeah, Todd County Central had some athletes on the field. I know on a couple occasions they got behind our defensive guys, but they just couldn't connect,
right.
Because the quarterback was getting hurried or whatever. But, offense, defense. I mean, the defense only gave up, I think, 11 yards in total offense. That's something to be said there.
It's because there was a lot of yardage lost during the game. There's almost 100 yards in lost yardage.
And even the second team played and the third team played many minutes. And so for us to only give up 11 yards total offense, that's saying something. Hats off to the Mayfield Cardinals. Hats off to the coaching staff.
Absolutely.
And basically, hats off to Mayfield in general. The crowd was there. There was a lot of people that made the trip. I was glad to see that on the show and stuff. So, but yeah, it was really good. I mean, like you said, nothing but good and positive things to say for the Mayfield Cardinals.
Their senior quarterback for Todd County Central was Eli Morgan, and Bryce and I both remarked on the program, and I think Doug also said something on our way home that the young man was a good athlete. You could tell he was a good athlete, but half the night he was picking the ball off the ground because the center – I know what was going on there. The center was hiking the ball as quickly as he could so he could get to his assignment because the defensive line for Mayfield was so quicker than anything they had experienced this year. And they were going right past that offensive line. And so Mr. Morgan, when he picked the ball up, he was surrounded by Cardinals all night long.
Yeah. It reminds me when I played, Ronnie Coles was the nose guard at the time. And I remember that the coaches kept saying, the center that you're playing against, if you can give him a big enough shot, it's going to mess his deal up. And sure enough, I don't even know what game it was, but it was a long time ago. But that's what was happening, and that's what was happening that night because he was getting rocked every play. Again, great job, Mayfield defense. And that's the thing, young guys, if you're listening, hey, it's the first few series. That's going to dictate to the game. The first couple plays, if you sit there and pop them, they're going to be like, man, this guy's good. Hey, listen, I don't want none. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what was happening. And he was like, he's just getting battered and beaten the whole game. And he never could, because like you said, he was trying to get in position not to take that big shot. So good job, Mayfield.
I remember we were at the beginning of the game. We had run one offensive play. And we had 14 points on the board because Mac Hoover returned the first punt. And it was quick. And I don't know, we haven't done the research into this, and we've had a lot of running clocks in our past history. Mayfield has. But this might have set the record for the earliest running clock ever secured. 4 minutes 41 seconds left in the first quarter. We obtained the running clock. So. It was that big a mismatch. I remember their outside wide receiver was towering over Fox, our defensive player, and he was tall guy. Carrington was his last name, But Fox played him tough all night long, and he made one outstanding. I don't know if you remember the catch,
I do.
but I mean, we had him covered,
Yeah.
completely covered, and he reached over and caught the ball and came down with it. It was fabulous, but that was the only catch I remember the entire night.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he was in great defensive place and position, and then of course sometimes the offense wins that battle. So okay, but I mean, can't say much, other than good stuff to Mayfield. There's probably some things that the coaches are pointing out, saying, "Hey, you should have been here when you should have been there," whatever. But now we turn around to this Friday, Caldwell County 5-1, and Mayfield goes to Princeton to battle them.
Yeah, this will decide who wins the district, who's the runner-up, and because the rest of our district is, understandably weaker, and I'll say this: I looked at Caldwell County's record. I looked at who they've played. They have not played strong opponents. They've played some opponents that are in higher classifications, but they're weaker opponents, and so they have some wins. They do. But they've seen nobody that's going to be to the measure of what we're going to bring Friday night.
This is one thing, though. They've got a big line. Okay, so we got Aaron McClung, the head coach. He's a Graves County
Former
alumni,
Graves County,
friend of mine. And I told you this when he got the position. He's working with these guys, and now these guys right here has bought into his system. The line is rough and tough. That's what Aaron was when he played, and they don't quit. And they got a lot of tenacity, and they're going to play until the whistle.
Yeah.
And one thing I was reading on them, fundamentally, they're good, and they're going to stay with their blocks. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. And Mayfield doesn't need to come into this saying, "Oh, well, they play weaker opponents. We're just going to handle business. No big deal. They're just going to walk the dog with them."
That's what fans say.
Yeah,
it's not what the coaches
right. And here's the thing: we got to take this serious. We'll go back to 2009 when we was definitely better. And what do? We lost 10-7. If we go back further than that, it was another game that we should have beat Caldwell handedly. Then we go back to the 80s when we should have, but guess what? We lost.
Two of those games were weather related.
But what I'm trying to say is anything can happen. That's why you play the game. All I'm trying to say is we got to be ready, Mayfield. But I believe Mayfield's going to handle business on Friday night.
Yes, I have every reason to believe that we're going to be able to focus. We have folks. We have two. We've just played two very much weaker opponents, and we were honed in. We seemed to be razor sharp, and Bryce and I, Jason, Bryce and I talked about this on the broadcast, is that it's a fine line that a coach has to, because when you are playing a weaker opponent, that you can't just you don't want to play your starters just for like you get a running clock in the first quarter, and everybody's like, well, you put the JV in now. What? Your starters have to have some kind of playing time, okay? Because they have college coaches looking at them.
Yeah.
They're looking at their stats. They got people interested in them. So, it's a fine line. When do you take your starters out, and when do you put the JV in? I thought Coach Stu did a great job. He left his starters in for all of the first half. The Baby Birds came out in the second half and handled business.
Well, when it comes to that, what you're talking about, with college coaches looking, you would rather have quality over quantity. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that the plays that you do play, whether it's 5 plays, 10 plays, and this is for the second and third team, whatever position you are and however many play, you better give it your 100% because, like you said, you might be out in the first quarter because guess what? The second and third team, they can handle business from there on out. We don't want to get anybody hurt, injured, or anything like that. We've got 2 guys that's injured, but guess what? They're going to be coming back later in the year to help us out to make a long run, hopefully into the playoffs, and that's what we're looking at. But, it's like sometimes we as players, we've played sports, and we want to be in every play because we are competitors and we want to do good. But guess what, guys? Get out of your head, buy into the system, because I guarantee the coaches has been here, and guess what? They know what they're doing. That's how we won in 2023 and 12 prior to that. And we're trying to make it 14 this year, and we can, but we just got to have everybody mentally strong and be like, hey, if I'm in 5 plays, I'm going to give it 110% 5 plays. And then when you take that video and you send it to the coach, say, that was the 5 plays I was in, and see what I did. You know what I'm saying? That's how, and it's like sometimes we get into it where we're like, oh, we should be passed to every play. Well, against Todd County, we could have probably passed it to one guy the whole time, but we spread it around. And it's sometimes when you've got playmakers like we do, because we do, on both sides of the ball, offense and defense, we got playmakers everywhere, and it's hard sometimes to get the ball around. And sometimes, we hear some jawing, but guess what? Let's just keep the positive attitude and reinforcement in these kids and say, come on, bud, you can do it. And this Friday, this is kind of the talk that I was reading over the weekend and this morning. It's like everybody's like, yeah, Mayfield is probably going to beat Caldwell, but it's not going to be one of them running clocks in the first quarter or the second quarter. They're saying by the end of the third, then it might be out of reach for Caldwell. Well, guess what? Let's try to make it, where we come out there and not have any penalties.
Let's just win the game.
Yeah, fundamentally sound, and let's put some points on the board and then see what happens. I guarantee the Mayfield's defense is going to show up, and our offense is too. But we got to. I mean, Caldwell's going to come and pop us in the mouth. We know what that means, and we're just going to see how we respond.
Yeah, we'll take a 3-2 victory. Okay, we don't want a 3-2 victory, but we'll take one if it comes down to that.
But Aaron's going to have the guys ready. I mean, that's no doubt about it, and they're not going to give up, So I just think that Mayfield just needs to be smart and and keep their mind on the game and the task at hand, and don't run this. And I think we're going to be fine.
That will be this Friday night in Princeton, playing at the Caldwell County Sports at the football field there. I don't know exactly what it's called, but at game time is 7 o'clock. Make the trip, everybody, okay? It's a good stadium over at Caldwell County, good place to watch a game, and you'll enjoy it. If you're not going to be there, then let me talk about 2A real quick.
Let's do it.
I forgot to include
RPI,
that.
baby.
RPI. We got to talk about it.
It came out.
Yeah, we got to talk about 2A RPI. It just came out this week. Let's at least give the top 6 because the number 1 is Owensboro Catholic by a mile. Okay,
true.
They got a pretty large lead there in the number 1 spot. Danville is number 2. Now Danville has some good wins, but they still have to play LCA in their district schedule. So we'll see what happens when they play LCA.
Right.
Mayfield is number 3. No, sorry, Belfry is number 3. Sorry about that. Belfry, a newcomer to 2A, dropped down from 3A, is in the number 3 spot. Mayfield holds down the number 4 spot. Beechwood has the number 5, and LCA has the number 6 spot. So
and LCA's already lost 3 games this year.
But we're talking against really top-notch competition. Mm-hmm. We're not talking about weak games. They're playing some tough teams. So it's going to be a shootout when this all comes down. Okay, it's just going to depend on. Here's what I don't want to see happen for us, and I mean. I don't want us to get to the semifinals and look up and we've got to travel to Belfry to play a semifinal game. I mean, that's like traveling to the East Coast. Okay, it might as well be. We might as well be traveling to the East Coast. I mean, it's that far away.
Well, there's a lot of shaking and baking that's going to go on between now and then.
Right.
So we just need to make sure we handle Friday.
We want to be in those top 2 spots.
Yeah, definitely top 2's the place to be.
Yeah.
Now, if you look across the board from 1A all the way to 6A, it seems to me, my opinion, I'm just a fan, but in my opinion, if you look at it, a lot of the people that's 1, 2, 3, and 4 over the years, I mean, some of them are not in. Like Danville hadn't been in there in a long time.
No.
I mean, Tillman's number 7. I mean, Madisonville, North Hopkins number 1. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of things has shifted. I don't know if they've put a kink in the way they're grading some of them things or what, or heavily weighted here and there. I don't know. To me, it seems like there's a little bit of difference of the way they're figuring things out. But guess what? Whatever happens, we got to play who's in front of us. And I know Coach Deuce says that. He says whoever they put in front of us, that's who we're going to play, and we're just going to keep running right through the wall and just going to the next one.
That's right. And it's all you can do. Okay?
That's right.
Yeah. And you can't worry about the numbers. You just got to play your game. And
there was another running clock. And here's the thing. So we've had every game a running clock except one.
right, the one we lost.
And we could rival the record that we have that was in 2011
No,
or
2010.
10. Okay. Yeah. So guess what?
That was 11 running clocks.
So what do you think? Is there going to be a running clock Friday night, B-Rad?
I think there will be, yes.
Okay. You think there is? I believe we can. It's according to if we do. But I will say Mayfield will win. I'm not, so sure on the score right now. I haven't figured out my pick there.
I'll say this: if we are honed in like we have been the last couple of games, understanding the opponents weren't as strong. I think we can do some major damage to the Caldwell County Tigers Friday night.
Right.
If we're not, then we're not going to get a running clock.
Right. Yeah, it's all good. Okay, but hey, Friday night Mayfield's going to take the win. We just got to be smart and do the things we know what to do, and the coaches are going to put us in the right position to do that and get that task accomplished.
All right. Well, that kind of wraps it up for GBR Weekly this week. Hey, everybody, have a good week. Go Big Red.
Go Mayfield. #1.